everyone doing this morning? I'm doing well. I feel good. Does anybody else feel good this morning? Yeah. I was hoping I'd get a good response to that. My name is Rob. Some people at the church call me Rob. Some people call me Robert. My wife, my close friends, and people from my younger days call me Bobby. I'm 37 years old, and I am a Hamilton, Ohio native. I've been living here pretty much my entire life. I have a 18-year-old daughter now. She just turned grown up on me. I have a 15-year-old son and a 14-year-old son. We live out in Trenton. And I've been coming to this church for about two years or so, and I just want to start by saying I really love this church. I really do. Same, yeah. And the reason I love this church so much is because everywhere you look, in every direction, it's a comeback story. It's like, I feel like the most of you guys, if not everyone here, is in like comeback season. And it's really beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to be a part of. It's beautiful to see people getting their kids back, people getting their driver's license, people getting jobs and promotions, people doing stuff that everybody thought they couldn't. So it's just amazing to be a part of that, and amazing to be able to see that every Sunday when I come here. So I figured today I would tell y'all about one of my favorite comeback stories. I mean, everybody loves a good comeback story, right? It's like, what's more American than a good comeback story? You know? So I'm going to tell y'all one of my favorite comeback stories. Back in about 2015 or 16, 17, 18, it feels like I've been in trouble so many times that like I get the dates mixed up. I don't know exactly what year it was, but it was somewhere in that time frame. And I was living with my mom at the time. I know. And one of my friends or acquaintances, he called me. He knew I had a drone. I've always been into photography and videography. Like even when I was, in active addiction, I was always into that type of stuff. So he knew I had a drone. He called me. He was like, I'm going to shoot a music video in Pittsburgh. And I want you to come with me and get some drone footage. I'll give you a couple $100. So of course I was excited. I'm like, I'm about to get paid doing something I love to do. And back during this time, I was living a pretty messed up life, I was headed down a dark path, but at the time I didn't think so. And it's crazy because like you could be in active addiction and just like be on the verge of homelessness or walking around with a backpack and just really just think that you just got it going on. Like I got a backpack, like I'm about to go make $200. I got a drone, like y'all can't tell me nothing. So back to the story. He came and picked me up, and we hit the road. We're going to Pittsburgh, so it's a pretty far drive. We're getting close to the border. We're in a place called Portage County. I'm sure Lee knows what Portage County is. So we're driving through Portage County. We're almost to Pennsylvania. Everything going good. We listening to music, smoking cigarettes, just like having a good time. And all of a sudden, a state trooper gets behind us. So we get pulled over. I'm not too worried. I told y'all I wasn't active addiction at the time, so, I had a little something on me, of course. And I'm not too worried. I'm thinking, like, he'll just question us and let us go. But he asked for our information, and he comes back. He tells me I got a warrant. Like, I don't know about y'all, but that's like one of the worst feelings ever. When you give them the license and like you might have a warrant, but then when they come back and tell you got the warrant, it's just like, he's like, we got to take you to jail. I'm like, sir, with all due respect, could you go back and double check? Because we like 4 hours from Butler County. I don't think they're going to come out here for no misdemeanor. He was like, nah, you're going to jail. Come on, we got to get you up out of here. So long story short, I end up in jail. And I'm sure a lot of y'all been to jail before. You know how it is, like the withdrawals and all of that. So it was pretty bad the first couple of days, but once my withdrawal started to let up, in other words, the CEO came around and he said, does anybody want to go to church? So me growing up in going to a Baptist church, I was like, yeah, of course. I did go to church as a youngin'. I didn't once I got older, but I always make it a priority to always go to church when I'm in jail. Anytime I can. So he come around, I'm like, yeah, let's go to church. So they take us in a little room, and whoever it was, he might have been a preacher or a minister, or a chaplain, maybe just a regular guy just to come off the street and kind of share the word with us. He comes in and he's like, okay, fellas, I'm going to be teaching y'all today about Joseph from the Old Testament. And I had never heard about Joseph, so of course I'm intrigued. I'm like, all right, yeah, let's do it. Let's learn about Joseph. So he goes to tell us about Joseph. Joseph was the son of Jacob. And Joseph had older siblings. He was the youngest. So I'm sure some of y'all got some younger siblings. You know how they are. They get on your nerves. You don't like them, you know. And not to mention, Joseph was always the favorite. He was the father's favorite. So that made the siblings hate him even more. Like, I'm sure some of y'all had that little brother that was mom's favorite, and like you kind of like, you might not hate him, but you low-key like resent him a little bit for it. I wouldn't know nothing about that because I was always the favorite. But so that's kind of the situation. That's the history with Joseph. And one day, Joseph's brothers is like in another town doing some work. So basically, like Joseph and them, they from like Hamilton. The brothers over in like Fairfield or something doing a concrete job. Joseph's dad like, look, son, we need all hands on deck. I need you to get over there with your brothers and help them with this job. So Joseph show up. He looking around the job site. They ain't nowhere to be found. He get to asking questions and stuff like, they're like, oh yeah, they was just here. They just finished up. They headed over there to Westchester to do another job. So, you know, Joseph, he hop on his donkey or whatever, and, you know, he head over to Westchester. He's getting close. He start to see him in the distance. He's like, okay, there they go. But at the same time, they start to see him in the distance. And, you know, them being resentful, and they see Joseph. They like, you know what, man, we all the way out here. We should just kill Joseph. We should just take him out, kill him. We'll get back home. We'll tell our dad he got ate by a wild boar or something. So they going back and forth. They like, you know what? Let's not kill him. Let's just throw him in this ditch. And he'll starve to death. We don't even got to kill him. We just throw him down there. He'll starve to death. So they going back and forth. They plotting and scheming. They settle on, they see some traders, some slave traders. They like, actually, he's our brother. Like, he's our property. Let's just sell him to the slave traders. And then we'll tell our dad we don't know what happened to him. So Joseph come up and they sell him. They sell him to the slave traders. So basically, Joseph's own brothers, his own family members, sold him into slavery, betrayed him. The people that he thought was closest to him turned their back on him, betrayed him. I'm sure a lot of y'all probably felt like that before. Family members might have betrayed y'all. Siblings might have betrayed y'all. A loved one or a significant other could have cheated or just did you wrong. That's how Joseph was feeling. That's how Joseph was feeling. But one thing about Joseph, he stayed faithful to God. He stayed faithful to God, and God stayed with Joseph. So he in slavery now. They transport Joseph to Egypt, and they end up selling him to this man. Now, I'm not like a Bible scholar or nothing. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and try to pronounce this man's name. Like, and this version of the story might not even be all the way right. You feel me? They got the King James version. They got the New Living version. This is my version. This is the bootleg version. So, but I do know his name starts with a P. So, for now, we're just going to call him Big P. So they sell Joseph to Big P, and Big P, he's a heavy hitter for real. He's like a statesman or something. He's some sort of politician or whatever. So, you know, he got the spread, he got the nice layout. And Joseph started working there, but even though Joseph in this bad situation, like even though things are going wrong, Joseph still shows up every day and makes the best out of everything he can, like bringing value to those around him, being kind, giving it his all every single day. Like he don't let the bad situation get the best of him. And he starts working there, and Big P, he instantly sees that. He's like, man, like God is with this dude. And so as the days go on, months go on, the whole estate start to flourish. The crops start to flourish. The house running in order. So he tell Joseph, he like, man, everything just been going real good. So like, I'm going to give you some responsibility. Like, I'm going to let you just run the whole. He basically gave him the keys to the castle. He said, you in charge. The only person you answer to is me. Like, you running the show now. So everything was going good until one day Big P was out of town. And he had a wife. His wife tried to get with Joseph. You know, Joseph, he a young, good-looking man. And the wife tried to get with him. Joseph was like, nah, I can't do this. He just gave me all of this responsibility. I would never betray him like that. Long story short, she ended up lying on him, and Joseph ended up being imprisoned for accusing or falsely, whatever. He didn't commit the crime, but they still threw him in prison. Y'all know what I mean. So here go Joseph again. Like Joseph was sold into slavery by his own brothers, betrayed. He started to get stuff going again, and then here he go. He get betrayed again, and now he's in prison. It seemed like no matter what, nothing goes right in Joseph's life. It's like no matter what Joseph does, something always go wrong. Who can relate to that? I mean, it felt like for a while, that's all my life was just one bad situation after another. Nothing could ever go right. But like I said before, Joseph stayed faithful to God, even in this situation, and God stayed with Joseph. So the same thing happened in prison. He go to prison, he's showing up, giving his all every single day, making the most out of every day, being of service, being valuable to others around him. And just like at Big P's house, the COs seen it. They was like, God is with this guy. So the same thing happened. They start to give him some responsibility. They start to give him some stature. Basically, he became like the OG in there. He was like pod boss. He was like head porter. You know what that head porter hit like in the county? You get their free phone cards, cell door open all day. He was head porter. So, you know, like he in there doing his little head porter job, and he in there for a while, and then one day these two dudes come in there. They was a part of the Pharaoh's court. Like when I say court, I don't know if y'all ever seen Game of Thrones, but basically like the court is like the king's like closest people. So they was a part of the Pharaoh's court. One of them was the cup holder. The other one was the baker. So they get sent into prison, and they both have this crazy dream one night. They wake up the next morning, they trying to like figure out about the dream. So y'all know how it is when you're in prison. You don't know where to wash the clothes yet. You don't know what they store. They like, go talk to head porter. He got you. He gonna give you all the information. So they go talk to the head porter, Joseph, and they was like, we had these dreams. We don't know what they mean. And Joseph was like, okay, God is going to tell y'all what these dreams mean through me. He told the cup holder, in 3 days, the Pharaoh is going to let you out of here, and he's going to raise you back up to your position. He told the baker, in 3 days, the Pharaoh is going to let you out of here, but he's going to kill you. So in 3 days, that happens. They both get out, and the cup holder get raised back up to his position, and unfortunately, the baker gets impaled. So some years go on, Joseph just still in jail, kind of, you know, just 1, 2, 3 years maybe pass by. And the Pharaoh ended up having a dream. So he called his whole court, and he's like, I had this dream, I can't figure out what it means. Can any of y'all help me? And it was at that moment that the cupbearer remembered. He said, actually, when I was in jail, I had a dream and there was this man in there named Joseph. And he told me what my dream meant. He predicted, and it was true. So the Pharaoh was like, go get Joseph. Right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Get him here right now. So Joseph pulls up. The Pharaoh's like, this is my dream. He said he had two dreams. The one dream was something like there was 7 fat cows looking like something. And then he had another dream where it was 7 cows and they was like, y'all know them animal protection service commercials where the dogs be all like, it was like, he said they was looking like that. So Joseph was like, look, this is what your dreams mean. God about to tell you through me what these dreams mean. He was like, that first dream, that means y'all about to have 7 years of prosperity. So for 7 years, y'all about to be eating real good. But then you're going to have 7 years of famine. All the food's going to be gone and people are going to be hungry. He was like, what y'all need to do is for the next 7 years, take 1/5 of all your crops and put it into storage. So when that famine comes, y'all be straight. The Pharaoh was like, I don't know exactly what he said, but something along the lines of, man, that's the best advice anybody had ever given me in my entire life. And even though Joseph wasn't a convicted rapist, he was like, you know what? I want you to be my right-hand man. I want you to rule over all of Egypt with me, right at my side. So basically, Joseph went from being in prison to being the ruler of all Egypt, like that. In the blink of an eye, in an instant. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. And it's crazy because that's how powerful God is. Like, it don't matter what you're going through in your life, God has the power to change it. You might feel like nothing's going right in your life. You might feel like everything going wrong. You may have been betrayed or let down by your loved ones, but God's got the power to change your life in an instant. God has the power to bring you out of anything that you're going through. I'm going to tell y'all this today. God's got a plan for every one of y'all. But on the other end of that, the devil got a plan for y'all too. And the decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis are going to determine how that plan play out in your life. The last time I was in prison, I was thinking to myself, like, I'm 33 years old. Like, I ain't got no job experience, no formal education. I'm about to get out of prison. I don't know what I'm about to do with my life. Like, I'm scared. I don't know. But the one thing I did know was that I wasn't going to use drugs and I wasn't going to break the law anymore. And having that mindset is what put me in the position to start to make a plan and start to create some goals and start to get my life back together. God had them blessings for me, but I just wasn't ready for them yet. I needed to work on myself before I would be able to handle those properly. And that's how God works. He'll give you a little bit at first. He's like, all right, let me give him this little $20. See what he do with it. Once he see you know how to take care of that, he like, all right, let me give him this little side gig real quick. See what he do with the money. See if he could show up on time. Once he see that you handling that, he be, all right, I'm about to give him this job. I'm going to give him this little $25 an hour job. See how he do with it. That's just how it works. So on and so forth. When you show God you can be responsible with what he gives you, he's going to give you more. Y'all probably got a bunch of blessings out there already. You just got to get your life to the point to where you can be able to responsibly take care of them blessings. My story is similar to Joseph's. I'm sure a lot of y'all got a similar story as well. You may have been betrayed. You may feel like you in a a prison of depression or addiction, or you may have just got out of an actual prison. But the one thing about God, he got the power to change your life. And he got the power to give you blessings you never even imagined. You just got to trust in God. Live every day with gratitude. Live every day with a giving spirit. When I actually started to be grateful for things, and when I actually started to live my life with a giving spirit, that's when God started to bless me. So what can we learn from Joseph today? Well, number one, no matter how bad your situation is or what you're going through, God has the power to change that. God has the power to change your life in an instant. He can take you out of whatever situation you're in and give you a life and blessings that you never even could have imagined. I'm living proof. Like, not too long ago, I was a homeless drug addict. And here last week, I get invited into a detox center to share my story with people who are still struggling with addiction. I got to share my story and give them hope. What else can we learn from Joseph? Even though things aren't going our way and we're in a bad spot, we still need to do everything we can to be kind to people, to make the most of our life, to be of service to others. I built an entire business just off of helping people. When you live your life based around helping people and solving problems, you have no choice but to be happy. There's two types of people in this world. People that live with a problem-based mindset and people that live with a solution-based mindset. Don't be the problem, be the solution. One of my favorite days of the week is on Wednesdays when I get to go down to the youth center and volunteer. It's just something about being of service to people that can just bring you a different type of joy. So how can we apply this to our everyday life? Well, number one, we need to have faith. You have to know deep down inside that God has something amazing for you and live every day to its maximum potential. Carry yourself like the person that deserves those blessings God has for you. Because every waking moment is a chance to work on yourself, educate yourself, improve yourself, and build yourself into a person that is worthy of those blessings God has for you. And number two, no matter how bad of a situation you're in, always look for an opportunity to help people. When Joseph was a slave, he did everything he could to be of service, to be kind to people. And y'all see where that ended him up. So even if things are bad for you right now, you can still be kind to other people. Even if you have no money or material things, like you could still give somebody a hug. You know how many people out there right now, they just need a hug. I was reading a book the other day, and there was a quote from a man named Seneca. He says, "Wherever there is a human, there's an opportunity for kindness." So always look out for those opportunities to help people, because those opportunities might end up being your life's purpose and become your biggest blessing of all. That's all I got. Thank y'all.